Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to tell you what the difference is between right and wrong. You're probably asking, okay, what's this guy with long hair standing in a field, what's he going to tell me? How does he know the difference between right and wrong? Well, I don't have a bunch of credentials, don't have a PhD, don't have a master's degree even. Did go to college, did pretty well, got good grades, but that really doesn't matter. There's lots of people who do great in school who don't really know anything, and there's lots of people who are pretty wise and pretty smart that don't do well in school. So that's out the window there. All I have for credentials is what's in my head, it's in my heart, and you'll have to decide for yourself using your own head and your own heart whether or not that's sufficient. I have a company called Yo Banfa, which means in Chinese, there is always a way. I'm in China right now, my backyard, in the fields. And right and wrong is the most important thing in the world. I'd love to be doing something else with my time, but we got more important things to do right now. So let's get right to it. Before we start, we have to answer the question, is there such a thing as right and wrong? And the answer is, yes, there is. Some people have been told that right and wrong are just social constructs. I think it was Spinoza who said that. Right is just something that gives me pleasure, or good is something that gives me pleasure, evil is something that gives me pain. Sorry, Spinoza, you're wrong. There is an objective difference between right and wrong. If you don't believe so, go ahead, turn this off, because you're not going to get much out of it. And but before you do, make sure to remember, if you're a parent and you believe that, next time your kid is bullied, if let's say your kid gets pushed down the stairs, remind yourself there's no right, there's no wrong, it's just a social construct. If you hit somebody's car, you rear-end somebody, and make sure to get out of the car and explain to your insurance company and the other driver there's no such thing as right and wrong, it's just a social construct. And finally, if somebody shoves you, make sure before you shove back, don't shove back, because right and wrong are just social constructs. There's nothing objective about it. You know, are you starting to see a pattern emerge? Think about the people who told you there is no such thing as right and wrong, and really ask yourself, were they trying to pull one over on you? Were they really trying to help you, or were they kind of setting you up? Oh, no, there's nothing to worry about. You can lower your defenses. Bam! Just like that. Think about it. So, yeah, if you still believe there's no such thing as objective right and wrong, go, get out, go. Good, you're still here. Okay, because these are laws of nature, these are universal laws, we don't get to make up what they are. All we do is discover them. I mean, we don't get to decide, okay, today everything is going to fall down, but tomorrow everything's going to fall up. And in this one place on Tuesdays, things are just going to fall sideways. You drop something, it'll go like that. Nope, sorry, it doesn't work like that. The laws are already in place for physical objects. You drop something, it falls pretty much at the constant rate, no matter what, from the end of time to the beginning of time, all that stuff. And the same thing, we don't get to make up. We don't have jurisdiction, meaning we don't get to say what those laws are. They were there before we got here, they'll be there after we go somewhere else, okay? It's up to us to discover what they are. And many people have discovered them, they've tried to teach them to other people, and these are some of the great philosophers and some of the great moral teachers throughout the ages. And some people call them the karmic laws, others call them the law of cause and effect, others call them the natural laws. And when I say natural, I don't mean the law of flowers and trees, I don't mean the law of a lion biting a buffalo. What I mean is the laws of nature, and it's important to realize what that word actually means. This is a slide from Mark Passio's presentation, Anarchy and the Occult, which really got me started thinking into all of this stuff. It was a fantastic presentation in February of this year at Anarchapulco. I highly recommend you check it out in full, and I'll link to it below, as well as his other work. It is fantastic for connecting the dots. Larkin Rose has awesome stuff as well, and for books, Richard W. Wetherill also is an amazing teacher, especially his book, Right is Might. I'll link to all of those below. So, we've got the natural laws, and it's up to us to discover what they are. All right, if you're still here, you want to know, what is the difference between right and wrong? How can we define it? I want to know. Well, this is how. Actions which do not result in harm to other beings are right. Actions which do result in harm to other beings Arrgh! 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 Now, this distinction only applies to beings which can understand the difference between right and wrong. For example, about 20 mosquitoes were just biting me as I was filming that last clip. However, they are not affected by the natural laws because they do not have the cognitive ability to process what is right and what is wrong. However, human beings who act like mosquitoes and prey upon people and suck their blood, meaning people who, well, we'll get into that later, who those people are. Those people are wrong. And that's it. That's the difference between right and wrong. Now, if you find yourself thinking, oh no, it can't be that, that's too simple, that's too easy, like that. Sorry, that's not an argument. As the philosopher Stefan Molyneux would say, you know, if Einstein said, guys, I got it, E equals mc squared, and the scientist said, no, it can't be, that's too easy, that's too simple. We want something more complicated than that. Doesn't matter, right? What it also is, according to Mark Passio, if you think that's too simple, no, it's got to be more complicated than that, that's your big old ego saying, I couldn't have been fooled for so long. No, it's got to be complicated. It's got to be real. I got to seem smart when I say it. It can't be so simple like that. Because you just want to sound big and strong or big and smart like that. And you can't admit to yourself that you were lied to and you were duped, you were fooled for almost your entire life. Unless you're hearing this not for the first time, in which case, good job. And if you are hearing this for the first time, it's really not your fault. We grew up in a system that hid, obfuscated, kept secret what the real difference was between right and wrong, because most people want to do wrong to us, so they try and confuse, obfuscate to make us easier targets like that. Now, if you don't believe me, that's fine. Test it out. Test it out for yourself. For about 1 to 2 months, first, be a great human being. Be completely honest. Never initiate force against peaceful people. Never initiate violence against peaceful people. It's okay to defend yourself if somebody comes at you. That's totally cool. But never go and attack somebody like that. Always be honest and yeah, do the right thing every single time and just see what happens. See what happens in your relationships, in your financial statements, in your happiness, your energy levels, all of that. It's all connected. Yeah, be a great person for 1 to 2 months and then see how you feel. And after that, be an asshole. Be a total dick. Cut people off in lanes, try and steal stuff when nobody's looking, you know, lie to people, cheat people, steal people, you know, just do whatever you can to get what you want. Doesn't matter if you got to step all over everybody, just get what you want, man. And then see how you feel after 2 months, see how people treat you. Yeah, all that, it's all connected as well. I wanted to say too, you know, if you also think it's too simple, when is it okay to push a kid down the stairs? When is it okay for a parent to hit their kid? When is it okay for somebody to hit you? You're gonna have to think real hard before coming up with an answer. All right, now, a question that a lot of people have is, okay, well, why do bad people then get away with it, right? It's a good question, and the trick is that most bad people don't actually do the bad actions. Therefore, they shield themselves from the majority of the natural law consequences. What I mean by this is, take a look at this picture from Mark Passio. You see two groups of people. One saying, my actions didn't cause that, a dead little girl, Middle Eastern girl, and another group also saying, my actions didn't cause that. Who's lying and who's telling the truth? Pretty obvious, huh? The ones who perform the actions bear the brunt of the karmic consequences because they actually brought the physical harm, evil, chaos, and destruction into our physical world. The people who ordered it did not. They're not good people, but they didn't make it happen. If a bum was yelling at you under a bridge saying, we need to go invade Iraq, we need to go invade Iraq, invade Iraq, invade Iraq, they've got weapons of mass destruction, they're gonna bomb us all, we need to bomb them, Saddam Hussein's the butcher of Baghdad, he gases people, blah, blah, all that stuff. If a homeless guy was saying that, right, would really anything bad happen to him? Maybe not good stuff, but I don't think many bad stuff. However, when somebody dresses up in a suit and tie, gets on national TV, and most people have been brainwashed into believing in authority. Oh, well, this guy's saying it, therefore it is okay. We do need to go and murder people. Doesn't matter whether we're right or wrong, he said it. The people who follow orders and the people who support people who follow orders, they are the ones who go out and do the bad stuff and therefore bring the chaos, destruction, death, and madness into our world. And they are the ones who get the consequences of that. So there you have it. The difference between right and wrong. Actions which do not result in harm to other people are right. Actions which do result in harm to other people are wrong. That's it. Now you know the difference between right and wrong. So, first, now you know, now you have to do. You have to be a good person if you want good things to happen to you. And furthermore, you have to tell others. You have to tell others, and you have to get on their case to be good people as well. You know why? Because if you're a good person, unfortunately, that's not enough. We live in a shared universe, and we share not really the same karmic consequences as other people, but we will be affected by their karma as well, or the consequences of their immoral, wrong decisions, unfortunately. Nowhere to run to. I thought there was. I was planning on, hiding out in South America before World War III, but there's nowhere to run. As Mark Passio says, the only way out is through. We have to wake the dead. We have to get people, and most people are pretty easy to reach after a while. But we have to make that effort. You have to make that effort. I have to make that effort to wake people up into what is right and what is wrong and holding them accountable for living that way. I'm not perfect, but I do know the difference between right and wrong. Now you do as well, and it's up to you to teach it to others. If we do that, the future will be better than we can possibly imagine. If we don't, I do not want to see that world.